The Toronto Blue Jays fall 2-1 to the Baltimore Orioles in a game where the Toronto Blue Jays almost had a combined no-hitter. The pitchers pitched phenomenally, and a couple players stood out in this game. So we're going to break that down and much more in this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Nick Gosse, and Peter Vryonis is not able to make it today. We had some technical difficulties that he wasn't able to make it, but he will be back for tomorrow's jam-packed day where we have Alek, Manoah taking the hill. But before we do get into this breakdown of this game today that was not televised, unfortunately, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We've been doing, game previews. We had a live stream today where lots of people tuned into that, so they've been great. And thank you for the support. We're on the road to 6,500 subscribers, so make sure to hit the subscribe button. It means the world. But without further ado, let's get into the first topic right now, which is pitching dominates. Now, specifically, we'll talk about Yusei Kikuchi, but the pitching as a whole was phenomenal this afternoon. The Jays almost combined for a no-hitter. They had 8 no-hit innings, and we'll pop up a screenshot right now. Some reactions to the game. So this is from Keegan Matheson saying, Yusei Kikuchi pitched another 2 shutout innings today in Sarasota, allowing a walk with 2 strikeouts. It's early, but early is all we've got, and Kikuchi has looked awfully sharp. And that's absolutely the case. And I'm going to mention it again. This game was not televised, so we were able to listen to it. Me and Peter listened to it on the radio. We took some notes. We saw some game clips floating around Twitter, and I have one I'll show you right now of Yusei Kikuchi. It's not the best, clip, unfortunately, but it will do the job. So here it is right here, which is obviously Yusei Kikuchi. You can't really see it, but it was a strikeout on a really nasty pitch. Now, again, this game wasn't televised, so we don't have the best recordings there for you. But if you look on Twitter as well, there's some more, where that came from. But Yusei Kikuchi was absolutely dominant in tonight's outing. And the key thing out of today's game was he was still able to limit his walks. Now, that has been a big theme for Yusei Kikuchi last year, and a big part of his struggles was he wasn't really able to get into that rhythm that we saw for the first half of 2021. And, last year was completely, obviously a poor year for Kikuchi, but so far he's been so good. So, Damon tweeted this, second inning for Kikuchi in the books. This is in case you missed it. Again, it wasn't televised. So, walked Urias on 4 pitches, then struck out Austin Hayes, got Adam Frazier to pop out, got James McCann to ground out. So just some really good stuff. Of course, he walked one guy, but that's naturally going to happen. And again, me and Peter have discussed several times on the show, the pitch clock has been beneficial for Yusei Kikuchi, and Yusei Kikuchi actually spoke out on that in a couple videos back, basically just saying that, it helps keep him in a rhythm. He doesn't have to overthink his pitches, and that is paying its dues so far. A couple more screenshots here before we move on, but Zach Thompson also, helped combine for the 8-inning no-hitter, where he pitched today. He had 2 innings pitched, 0 hits, 0 runs, and 3 Ks. Certainly outing Thompson can build off. And that was a big issue with his last outing. Of course, he gave up, I believe, 4 earned runs, and tons of Jays fans were coming for his head, saying that, man, hopefully he never sees a game with the Blue Jays. But that has not been the case today, as he shined in today's outing. And then finally, we'll pop this up here. Julian Fernandez also struck out the side, flashed 101, sat between 99 and 100 with a couple wicked changeups. That was impressive. So, everyone we've been talking about this offseason, obviously Yusei Kikuchi, and the story coming into this game, if you watched our live game preview, was Yusei Kikuchi, Cavan Biggio, and then any of the bullpen arms that pitched. And again, Kikuchi, 2 innings, scoreless, and hitless as well. Julian Fernandez was looking unbelievable. 101 miles per hour he touched. Those are Nate Pearson numbers. And then, of course, Zach Thompson with his crazy bounce-back outing. And in case you missed the game, we have this here, which is the box score. So this is the pitching box score. I know it's a bit small, but it was the best we could do. So Yusei Kikuchi, 2 innings pitched, no hits. Zach Thompson, 2 innings, no hits. Trent Thornton, Julian Fernandez, Matt Peacock, Hernandez all gave up no hits. And, of course, Hayden Jenger was the guy. I'm not going to, go too hard on him there. But Hayden Jenger was the guy who did come in, give up the no-hit bid, and as well give up the lead in the 9th. And then now you can also see here the hitters, which we'll move in now to the next topics. I'm going to focus on Cavan Biggio's continued hot start. And that was another main story point coming into this game, was how Cavan Biggio will continue to play, as he is getting a lot of playing time this spring training. And I'll pop up the screenshot one more time right here. Cavan Biggio went 2 for 2. You can also look at Otto Lopez, went 1 for 3. Another screenshot's a little blurry, but we also had a home run out of the catcher there. But again, we're going to focus mainly on Cavan Biggio in this segment. So Cavan Biggio went 2 for 2. And he just had a phenomenal game once again. He played very, solid second base. And you saw in yesterday's game where he played right field against the Detroit Tigers. That was televised, of course. He had the phenomenal, diving, sliding play and then doubled him off at first. And he's built on that, continued to play stellar defense in the field. And it's just unbelievable at Cavan Biggio. And he is someone that a lot of us, including myself, kind of discredited coming into the season with Whit Merrifield, of course, battling for the spot along with Santiago Espinal. I didn't really think that there was a spot necessarily for Cavan Biggio, but if he's continuing to play such stellar defense, then there will certainly be playing time that opens up for him, whether it be in that fourth outfielder spot or somewhere else. And as well, a note we took during the game, if you did tune into the radio broadcast, Ben Wagner was saying that last year, along with Ben Nicholson-Smith, also said this, that Cavan Biggio was battling an injury and now he is fully healthy, which, if that is the case, then, maybe we were all a bit too hard on Cavan Biggio, because if he's fully healthy now, and, he is, he's been amazing in spring training, been hitting the ball super hard, hitting the ball super well, playing great defense, and he is very, very versatile. He is one of the most versatile players, if not the most versatile player on the Blue Jays, and he is one of our best base runners. He's super smart, super high baseball IQ, so he's someone that the Jays, I think internally, are valuing much higher than some of us fans, and it was great to see Biggio continue to, just play absolutely phenomenally. And I don't know, it's great to see, and I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on the Biggio, the Biggio hype train. He's obviously got hate on a lot throughout the offseason for sure, but now he's doing very, very well. He's being versatile. He's playing great, and it is super exciting to see. And then, of course, we'll also touch on Otto Lopez, who, he got a hit in tonight's game, and he was someone that we spoke about in the pregame live show as another guy who was battling for that fourth, outfielder utility role spot. Now, Cavan Biggio doing this well and playing that well in the outfield is kind of hurting these, minor league guys' attempts and, paths potentially to the big leagues. That being said, Otto Lopez has hit the ball very, very well at all levels. Of course, at AAA, in his brief stint with the Blue Jays towards the end of the year last year, he hit an unbelievable, I think he got like 6 straight hits to start his career or something crazy like that. He was just an unbelievable, had an unbelievable run last year, but he also played, very well today. And the defense as a whole for the Blue Jays has been very, very good. And that continued to be the case tonight. Of course, they ended up falling 2-1, but I don't know. In general, Biggio played phenomenally. Otto Lopez, a couple other, minor guys. We, of course, had the catcher who hit the home run, but the main story of the game was Biggio. Addison Barger didn't really have a great game by hitting. He went 0 for 3 with a strikeout, but that's okay. He still he had a couple really hot games to start the spring, but I have full faith that Addison Barger will be a great guy for the Blue Jays going forward. And of course, we had Julian Fernandez, Zach Thompson, Kikuchi. The story of this game was pitching and Cavan Biggio. That was the main thing we got out of that. But let us know what your thoughts are or were on the game today. If you were able to tune in, listening to it, or if you just kept up on Twitter where everyone was tweeting about it as there was no live broadcast. But let us know on that, and we'll move in now to the final topic, which is a news portion of the video, which is Manoah/Kirk news. Of course, news came out today, and in case you haven't seen it, I will pop it up right here. It was a tweet from Rob Longley saying, John Schneider says Alek Manoah and Kevin Gausman will make their spring training game debuts in Dunedin with starts Thursday and Friday, respectively. So that means tomorrow, as we're recording now, it is March 1st. So tomorrow, which is Thursday, March 2nd, Alek Manoah will be making his debut, which is super exciting. That game is going to be televised. We will have a live stream for you previewing the game, as well as a post-game reaction and analysis. And Peter will be back for that one, which is exciting. But Alek Manoah, super, super excited to see how he adjusts to, of course, the pitch clock. As he said in one of, as we mentioned, he said before that he's going to be using the pitch clock to his advantage to have a one-up on the hitters. And then, of course, Kevin Gausman, which is an even bigger story because he had to adjust his delivery due to the pitch clock. So it's very, very interesting to see, and I'm very excited to see our two aces, our 1A and 1B. Of course, with Manoah expected to be the opening day starter, so I'm going to be curious to see how he ramps up now in spring training. See how many innings. I'm suspecting 1 or 2 innings out of him. Probably 2 innings, as long as things don't go poorly in tomorrow's start. And I expect some more regulars in the lineup tomorrow, thinking maybe Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, people like that, George Springer again, with, of course, Vladdy ramping up for the World Baseball Classic. It'll be very interesting to see how the roster pans out tomorrow. It should be a bit more of a powerhouse lineup compared to today. But we'll move now on to the final screenshot for you guys, which is John Schneider expects Alejandro Kirk to join the Blue Jays tomorrow. Kirk has been doing work in California while he awaited the birth of his child, so he's not starting from scratch on March 2nd by any means. but he'll still need to catch up a bit this month. Of course, one of the storylines of the offseason has been Alejandro Kirk awaiting the birth of his child, and he did officially withdraw from the World Baseball Classic, so his full focus is on the Toronto Blue Jays, and it is great to see him finally joining the Blue Jays camp this week sometime. So it's very exciting to see that. And Alejandro Kirk, I'm excited to see him in a couple spring training games. We're about 28 days away from opening day, which is super exciting. Time is flying. Content is coming at you guys like crazy. You've been showing great support in the live streams. It's meant the world to us. We're going to continue doing the game previews for all you guys who like getting a bit of Jays action before the actual spring training game starts. And we'll have another one for you guys tomorrow before the Alek Manoah game. That'll wrap up this video. We covered a lot in it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the daily Jays content. And Peter will be back for tomorrow's videos. So we'll see you then.